What's a good party without good food? And these revelers know their food. They gathered near downtown St. Louis to celebrate the launch of Feast magazine. The monthly publication debuted with its August 2010 issue.
I can't believe you made the trip down from Iowa. I can't believe you guys are here.
Of course we would. We wouldn't miss it, Kat.
Oh.
Kat is Feast magazine publisher Catherine Neville. This is Neville's second culinary publishing venture. Her first was Sauce magazine, which she co-founded in 1999 and served as editor-in-chief. At the launch party for Feast, its first readers took in the big photos and the editorial big picture.
One of the guiding ideas behind the launch of this new magazine was that food is something that needs to be taken out of the television and out of just the pages and made part of people's everyday lives. And so Feast has been conceived to be something that you go back to every day. Like if you want to cook at home, if you want to redecorate your kitchen, if you want to go out to dinner, if you want to go out for cocktails, no matter what you feel like doing, if it has to do with food in St. Louis, we're going to be covering it. And
Neville credits her childhood, traveling the world as an Air Force brat, with her evolution into a die-hard foodie.
Each time that we would move, the art, the architecture, and the food of each place that we went was something that was really interesting to me. It was a way that you could connect with the local culture. So like when we moved to Turkey, when I was like 10-ish, that just really opened me up. I mean, it was something where I moved to this entirely new country, and I was old enough that I understood, you know, what I was able to experience. And so by tasting these different foods and everything, it just made me really curious about it.
We were curious about the process and the culture of Feast, so we followed the development of the October 2010 issue, its multimedia companions, and learned how Catherine Neville uses Feast to engage the community.
Paperberry.
Freelance photographer Jeff Carden was on assignment for Feast at a Rocca restaurant in Clayton. Executive chef Stephen Carabelli prepared several dishes for Carden to photograph.
A meat lover's paradise. It's not. I love to shoot food. Is just a blast, mostly because you get to talk to chefs. And I love to cook. I was a baker before I was a photographer. So being able to go back and see the kitchens and what's going on, what are you doing, what are you making, is just, it's awesome.
A lot of thought goes into Carden's photographic still lifes before he takes a single shot.
A lot of times we get direction from whoever the art director is and kind of how it's going to fit into the piece for the article. And from there, it's get the feeling of what the food is, how the chef likes to present it, and also the surroundings. Like a place like Rocca, a lot of natural light just coming in, so let's use it.
Chef Carabelli had just taken the helm at Rocca when Feast came calling. Having started his career as a food writer, Carabelli knows the value of this kind of exposure.
At first, I'd read the reviews in the Riverfront Times and the Post-Dispatch, and then Sauce Magazine came along. And now Feast Magazine is just starting out, and it seems like it's going to go to the same route of really being an interesting thing to read.
You can see I wrote pretty on the escargot right there.
3 of Carden's photos were selected for Feast, which is headquartered in Town and Country.
Why did you choose the beet tartare with the orange quail egg coulis?
Lisa Triefenbach is the magazine's art director.
Dish, but it looked really wonderful to me, and I kind of go by that. I go with the color. What do I think is going to pop off the page, and what photograph do I think is going to read best in that big space? Mm-hmm. So that was the one that won.
The seared lobe of foie gras with pear consommé topped with tatsoi sprouts and escargot with gnocchi and pearl onions in a parsley garlic broth also made the cut.
We're here today in the kitchen of Ernesto's Wine Bar in Benton Park, and we're going to learn how to cheat turducken. Turducken. Which is typically a turkey stuffed with a duck, stuffed with a chicken.
Yes, and you actually have to debone each of those animals, which is not an easy feat.
No.
This is not a do-it-yourself trick.
Well, that's why there has to be a cheat.
There has to be a cheat. So
If you're frustrated, you need to make this for dinner.
Yes. My favorite part of the day.
We have such dynamic cooking videos and extra recipes and all kinds of extra online content. So I really want people to be aware of that the website is really a great resource for, not only sharpening your culinary skills, but really, learning more about the St. Louis culinary scene. We have the feed, which we update daily. Anything we're hearing on the streets, any important, pertinent news items are going right to our feast daily. And then we will feed that through Twitter and Facebook as well to keep people apprised of what's going on.
16 minutes or so. Let it sit there. Don't lift the lid and keep, chucking in it. Trust it. That's the thing about cooking is you have to trust your food.
Chef Matthew Borchard of L'École Culinaire prepared a meal of Cuban cuisine for a class held in conjunction with an article and feast on the food of Cuba.
And like I said, I suggest actually, taking your knife if you need to and spreading it on your fried plantain.
That's black bean dip on those fried plantains. The latter is a tropical fruit that resembles a banana but must be cooked. Class participants savored a 4-course meal that also included crab fritters, a succulent roast pork loin, sliced and nestled on a bed of saffron rice, then topped with sliced onions cooked in olive oil with garlic.
Take your plate, just like this. Simply, very quickly, turn the plate upside down. If you have to, give it a little like that.
And for dessert, a creme caramel, known in Spanish-speaking countries as flan. The monthly classes coordinated by Feast are intended to make food approachable, a concept that resonated with this group.
And I had read Feast magazine. I had gotten it at the store, and I had read the article about the Cuban cooking. Have a neighbor who is Cuban and who has talked about all the food from his country, and so it was kind of exciting to see that there was a Cuban cooking demonstration.
This was terrific. There was some really great tips, which was great because I've been cooking for a while, and there were some nice things when I jotted down. The food was delicious, and I have to be honest, I didn't know this was here. I knew the school was here, but I didn't know this opportunity was here.
We drink wine, we hang out, and food then becomes something that everybody can relate to. And it's not something that's just on TV. It's not something that's just done by celebrity chefs. It's something that you too can get in there and get your hands a little bit dirty and get your kids involved and make it something that is a fun, enjoyable part of your life.
A few days before the October 2010 issue of Feast went to press, the selection of the all-important cover photo was made. It was this striking image of a single piece of popcorn.
It's very strong and has a graphic.
Very clean, very modern.
Exactly.
Very simple. It definitely draws your eye just to one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this beautiful line of salt along the table is just
And then
mesmerizing.
this color kind of right in the center of the popcorn. It's like everything's black and white, and you have this kind of explosion.
This sits in the entrance of all the grocery stores and the bookstores and the bars and restaurants. We need to have something that catches their eye so they'll reach down and pick it up on their way in or out.
What's up with Feast?
We just finished printing yesterday, the October issue.
Once a week, Neville shares the latest developments on the food and restaurant scene and promotes her publication on McGraw-Millhaven's morning show on radio station KTRS. Millhaven says their chats inspired him to do some serious cooking.
When she talks, she is hypnotic. The way she describes the food, the way the words roll off her tongue, half the time I have no idea what she's talking about. But the words flow so beautifully, I just sit there, and at the end of a segment, I just sit there and go, ugh. I am so hungry at the end of these segments. It's my favorite segment of the week. She's the best.
Perhaps that's because for Catherine Neville, life is truly a movable feast.
Being able to do this at this point in my career has been just, I don't know, it's really kind of amazing. It's like in my mid-30s and I'm launching my second magazine, and it's kind of crazy. But it's so much fun.